Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Friday, and I have a project to do around the house today, inside the house today, because it is raining outside the house today. Well, it was raining yesterday outside the house, and it was raining a little bit the day before. So we have this weather band that's coming through, and I looked at the weather, and the weather pattern for about a week is nothing but rain, rain, rain every single day. I think we have, I think there's a typhoon. I think there's a typhoon that's going from the south and working its way. I think it's going right through the middle of Feliz or something like that. Well, I don't know, but it's bringing a lot of rain around here, and we need the rain. The grass is very dry on the outside. Still hoping to work on that sister next week. So for today we have a DIY project. It's really not a DIY project, but it is a DIY project because I'm actually doing it myself. And it is a project that is a remainder of some of the jobs that needed to be finished when the house did not get completed. And we're going to be working up in the master bedroom comfort room area, the CR. I got some planned work for some finish up projects there, and we'll get into that after today's intro. So let's go ahead and get today started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, as I said in the intro this morning, today we're going to be working on some finish-up projects that never got completed. It's going to be a slow process, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenging process. And why do I say challenging? Well, what happened is when we were finishing up the build of the house, getting as close to the finish as possible, one of the last places that you remember that we stopped at was the comfort room up on the second floor, off the master bedroom suite. And there are some doors and there's some drawers that need to be done underneath the vanity, and like a small shelving area that we'd be using for things like towels and hand towels and things like that. So I need to complete that. Unfortunately, they built the cabinet doors before the bathroom was complete. The finishing wasn't completely done all together, and the thicknesses weren't measured exactly. So what we have is we have some doors like this, made out of yakal and some mahogany wood right here. The reason we didn't use yakal on the inside, because yakal is very difficult to wet and bend, and I wanted to do some of this really neat threading of the wood in between for decoration, but you can do that with mahogany. You can wet it, you can bend it, and you can shape it. So this is going to be the door to the little shelves that we have inside the bathroom up there for things like towels, bath towels and hand towels. But right now my challenge is getting this to fit. This particular door or set of doors, when the company that custom built these for us, they built it before we had the total dimensions, the final dimensions of the finished area, the cutout. And these are too small, so we're going to have a really big gap between the two. And we're going to try to mitigate as much as possible so we have as little bit of a spacing that we can put in there. So we're going to take that challenge on. Now, what we're going to use for hinges, we're going to use these special hinges right here. I don't know if you can see, but these hinges right here, they have a hydraulic, and they're soft close hinges. You can buy this at any big box store, hardware store, Ace, Wilcon, CW, Home Depot, City Hardware, whatever, wherever your favorite hardware store is. And they have different manufacturers, but they all basically do the same. One end will connect to the door, the other end will connect to the frame inside, and when you close it, you see it's a nice slow closing of the door. You don't have to push it all the way closed or have a little latch inside or a magnet in there. So this is what we're going to use today, and I'll give you a little bit more information about this hinge as well. Well, let's run upstairs to the comfort room up on the second floor, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at how I plan on mounting these. I've already put a couple of strips. I don't have any of the strips down here. They're actually all still upstairs. But let me show you what I've already done. I did this last night, as a matter of fact. I just mounted a couple strips in there for the hinges to attach to, and then I have to do some drill outs of our doors as well, and I'll show you how to do that. But let's go upstairs real quick, and I'll give you an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. All right, so here we are up on the second floor. This is the area we're working on now. What I did last night, I put in these two strips inside here. This is made out of Yakal also. And what the strips are going to do, I left my hinge downstairs, but the hinge is going to attach to this strip inside here instead of going directly into the concrete itself. Now you have different kind of hinges. You can have hinges that will connect directly into either the side of your cabinet, or you can have this little extension, because what we're going to do here, we are going to take the door, and it's going to fit up like this right here, and we want it to be able to open just like this right here without worrying about hitting up on the side of the concrete. So the type of hinge that we have, the soft closing hinge, will actually allow that without pushing it out when you do the opening of the door. So that is the goal. Now, you don't see the other door here, but the other door is going to leave a pretty big gap over here. So we're just going to try to adjust as much as possible. There is going to be a gap. The way if you're having custom doors built, it's always better for them to be a little bigger than you need than smaller than you need. Which isn't the case that we have right here, because they didn't measure properly. Because if it's too big, you can take a planer and you can cut off on the edge of your frame of your door, and you can adjust it so you get a really nice tight fit. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of cheat a little bit. Once this is installed and we have the door mounted over here, and then we have the door mounted on this other side, and we have a gap inside here, we're going to put, I guess what we'll try to do, as we'll see, we're going to put maybe some type of strip on the back of this. So when the two doors are closed, what you'll see is you'll just see a piece of wood on the inside. So it'll look like it has a little bit of a frame in there. Now I don't want to leave the frame inside of here, because if I make a frame that goes from here down to the bottom, it's going to be hard to put towels and everything inside this little cabinet space around. It's going to be in the way. So what we'll do is we'll cut it out, we'll attach it to one of the doors right here, and it won't be too big. And when you'll open one door up, and then you'll open the other one, and it'll have a little piece of whatever that gap space is, and it'll make it look a little more finished. At least that's what the goal is. That was what my design is for today. Now before you cut your hole, you need a bit to cut the hole in the side of your door so that the hardware will be able to mount inside. So what you normally use is something called a Forstner bit, and they come in multiple sizes. And the way you know what size you need to purchase or use for your application is going to be written on the hardware bag. And if you look at the hardware bag here, it says cup diameter 35 millimeters. So I purchased this Maxell down at Wilcon. And it comes, you can buy it in 4 different sizes. It comes in 16, 19, 22, and 35 millimeter. And this particular one right here is 35 millimeters. So this is what we're going to use. What's nice about these bits right here, they're very easy to keep straight. You don't need like a drill press to do this, because they have a little drill tip. Here, if I can get it out of the bag. And you see right here, this little tip right here, that will be the center of your hole that you're going to cut. And it cuts a very nice, clean, flat hole for your hinge to fit nice into your door. Now, if you're going to be making lots of cabinets, what I recommend is you getting a jig. And then what a jig will do, the jig will fit. It's like a little template that fits on the side of your door. And it will perfectly, you take your pencil and you draw a little circle inside there, or it will stay and you can clamp them on, and you can take your bit and you can drill the hole out directly, and it's accurate. It's very, very accurate. But I did not send over a jig with any of my Balak buying shipments, and I didn't see any yesterday when I went down to Wilcon. So we're going to do this by the Filipino method. We're going to do it by eyesight. All right, now with all the hinges on the doors, let's go ahead and bring these upstairs to the cabinet area. Let's go ahead and mark the holes for the mounting of the hinges on the frame, and let's get them out and see how big of a gap that we have between the doors. All right, so what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and mark where the hinges will be mounted to our little wooden frame inside here. Mark them, I'll drill them, and then I'll go ahead and secure the doors. Now I just noticed, just by doing a rough fit on here, that I have a little bit of a gap on here, which I tried to make sure I made the hinge far enough away so I would have a little bit of a gap here, which will reduce the amount of a gap that I have between the two doors. I hope I was successful in reducing, even if it's about, maybe about 3/16 of an inch. That will help out a lot. So let me go ahead and do the marking and do the mounting. Let's see what it looks like after it gets mounted. So now you see I have all the hinges in place, the doors are in place. It's still not done. There's still other work that needs to be done. Something I want to show you that's really neat about these type of hinges is they are so adjustable. For some reason, if your gap is too big here, or your gap in between the wall and your door is too big, or you need to move it in and out for adjustment, you have all these adjustments inside. So this little screw right here, if you screw this in and out, this will bring the top portion out this way or in, back or forth by this one right here. The first thing that you do is these are oblong screw holes right here. These are the first screws you put in so that you can move your hinges up and down if you need to do an adjustment in the top. Plus you have another adjustment inside the back that allows for adjustment in and out as well. So this is really good that you have all these adjustments on here. So right now you can see the doors are closing, they're in place. I have to put another board, and this is my gap. This is that big gap that I was telling you about, but it's okay. It's not that bad. It's not as big as it originally was because I ended up adjusting a little bit of the gap up here, and that's what I did downstairs when I made the hinge go as far to the outward side as possible. Now what I have to do is two more things on just this portion before I build the base. I got to build the base down here. But what I need to do is this same board that I use in here for the framing, I got to put up here along the top, along this top section. And the reason I have to put a piece up there, I need a stop. So when this thing closes all the way, I want it to stop up against that board. So I'm going to cut a section up here, I'm going to mount it, and that will be my stop inside here. Then what we'll do is we'll put some little tiny rubber bumpers on here so it'll be nice and soft when it closes. It won't be wood upon wood. All right, I got the doors lined up and I did the adjustment on the hinges. So now everything is lined up from the bottom and to the top. And it doesn't look too bad. So I thought it was done for today, but I got to thinking, you know, I can go another step. I don't have the handle hardware. We're gonna have to go to a hardware store later on and find the handles. But what I can do, I think I have some extra leftover. Remember the threshold? The granite threshold that we used for the shower. I think I have enough to make a couple of shelves inside here. So what I can do, and I'm thinking about this on the fly, basically take the same wood that we used for the framing here, and I can put a couple of pieces, one over here, one over on this side, another shelf down here, another, depends on how many shelves that we want to put inside here. I can go ahead and pre-mount those, And then I can go down, if I have enough of this material left over, I can cut it out with the grinder or with my tile saw, and we can place some nice looking tile shelves inside here. Let's see what we got. So what I did downstairs, I cut out 6 pieces of stock wood to use for the side pieces, and I went ahead and mounted. I have 3 of them mounted already, equal distance from each other. Give enough room to put whatever items I need, bathroom supply items, some towels and things like that. So we're good on this side. Now I need to do this side as well. And then the next step is to work on the shelving material itself. Okay, I have all the shelf supports in place. Now the next thing to do is go downstairs and source out some material that I want to use in here for the shelves themselves. I think I'm going to use the granite, the leftover granite that I have from the bathroom, like I said earlier, from here. I have a pretty big piece, but I don't know if it's big enough to do these 3. So what I'll do is I'll do a measurement. I'll see if I have any leftover that will fill that requirement, and if so, then I'll start cutting some granite. I think it's still early enough for the day. It's about around 3:30. I might save this for tomorrow. I'm not sure. Let me see. Basically, I got to clean up all this mess inside here so the bathroom is actually usable. Now, if I have any other type of granite still left over from other projects, I might use that as well. Well, let me go downstairs in the basement and see what I have. All right, well, as you can see, I found a piece of material to use for the shelving, but it's not quite enough. Now, I can make it enough, but I'm going to have to splice some. Maybe I'll do it for the bottom shelf, which won't be so noticeable. But I'll be able to get 2 shelves, because this is 100 centimeters, and I need about 90. I need about 90 centimeters, because I think each one of the shelves are about 44 and a half, something like that, a piece. So I can fit these 2 right here. The nice thing about this one, it's beveled. All right, so I have material to work with, but I can't do it right now, even though it's almost 4 o'clock. It's pretty much the end of the day. I need to get a shower. We have some guests coming this evening. You remember Dave and Emily, our farmer friends. Well, they're coming, and I asked Emily to bring some vermicast because we're going to add some fertilizer to those citrus trees in the back, and hopefully we can have them growing a little bit quicker and they get some more of that nutrient. Vermicast is like some of the best stuff you can put down inside the ground to help your plants and vegetation. I was planning on going outside, but it's raining outside right now. I'll show you. Hey. So my gardener right now is sitting in the Baje Cubo, waiting for the rain to subside, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to rain probably much the rest of the afternoon. Well, good opportunity for me to clean this area up before our guests arrive, and then I can go take a shower and be ready when we have our visitors. So that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow we'll be working again on that shelf, trying to get those shelves inside. Now remember, we still have 2 other sets of doors that need to be installed, and those are the ones that are directly underneath the vanity. Those will be another project on another day. I just have to make sure that I have all the materials for that as well. But now that we have a strategy on how to put those cabinet doors in, the rest of them should go in without an issue. Okay, well, let me get this cleaned up, get a shower, meet our friends, and then tomorrow's another day. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and please share. And if you haven't subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed, and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.